at deckcityne.com or visit their new location just north of 33rd and Cornhusker Highway. Deck City, your local deck experts.
Hey, CNC machinists, do you feel like you're in a dead-end job with your boss hovering over your shoulder? That's so annoying. Not at Garner Industries. Opportunity and trust CNC machinists to bring the talent. Bob Williams, HR Director at Garner Industries, and we're looking for new team members in our CNC department. At Garner Industries, you'll work in a clean, controlled, and safe environment with team members who want to see you succeed. You will also enjoy 4-day work weeks, great benefits, and a positive working culture. Interested? Apply on our career page at garnerindustries.com.
Hey, got any gum?
Yeah, check my backpack.
What's this?
Oh, that's naloxone. It can reverse an opioid overdose. I decided to always keep it on me after my friend almost died. It saved his life.
I'm so sorry. That makes me want to have it with me too.
You totally should. Check the pharmacy. It was actually really easy to get and it's easy to use.
I definitely will. Thanks.
Paid for by the CDC. Sponsored by Nebraska DHHS. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Put lawn irrigation. Jetson Service. Sprinkler system irrigation. They'll never forget you.
Call the Judson Irrigation Orphanage 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
Hey guys, Jake Sorensen here from Early Break, and on behalf of the entire 93.7 The Ticket team, we are excited to announce this fall we are teaming up with Husker Extra for the Big Red Brunch. We'll have big names from now and the past from Husker sports, and that all starts on Wednesday, August 9th for the Big Red Brunch Golf Scramble at Tiburon Golf Club in Gretna. Sign up to play today at omaha.com and find the Big Red Brunch tab. You won't want to miss this on August 9th at Tiburon in Gretna.
Rosie Sports Bar and Grill. Open for lunch at 10th and P or at 1501 Park Road.
General contract business owners, property owners. The success of your business requires doing business with the right people. And the right people, when it comes to acoustical ceilings and specialty products, are at Premier Drywall. Kevin and his crew will give your project the response and attention it deserves.
You'll get all of the attention to detail and quality that you would expect from someone who's been in the business for 30 years. For your new builds, build-outs, or renovations, reach out to Kevin. Kevin at premierdw.com. Premier Drywall in Lincoln.
You've driven by GE Landscape Supply countless times, likely without even knowing, at 6701 Cornhusker Highway. Now it's time to stop in. GE Landscape Supply sells to homeowners and contractors with a vast selection of landscaping and construction materials. They sell in bulk to save you money, and you can get anything from a 5-gallon bucket to a semi-load. And don't forget, they deliver anywhere. Stop by Cornhusker Highway from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday to Friday and 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturdays. Go to GELandscapeSupply.com for more info or call 402-467-1627.
If you're in Lincoln, Waverly, or the surrounding area, listen up. Select Plumbing gets it right the time on a variety of plumbing, repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Call today for a free estimate at 402-501-97. Plus, they're hiring service plumbers. If you're in Lincoln, Waverly, or the surrounding area, contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
Coming at you live from the 93.7 The Ticket studio in the heart of Lincoln, America, and online at theticketfm.com. This is the June Achievement.
Yes, it is. Welcome to it as a Ticket weeknights here on 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. I'm Austin Norman. Big thanks to the Husker Hall of Famer Amon Green for stopping by for an hour like he does every week. Appreciate him and his time. Now we turn our focus to the youth in our community. Amon's doing that at the university as a professor. We got a couple business leaders, achievement enjoyers, appreciators here today, joined by Katie and Megan. Ladies, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks for being here for giving an hour. And it's the Junior Achievement Show, but we'll get to that in a little bit. Katie, we'll start with you. Where are you from? How did you end up where you're at?
Okay. My name's Katie Becker. I am an Eastside graduate, so grew up here in Lincoln, went to school at TCU, came back, met a great guy, started a family. So we live here. We have 3 kids, and they are in Lincoln Public School System. I am a business owner. I took my grandma's toffee recipe and created Tasty Good Toffee, and have grown that over the last 10 years after leaving corporate marketing. And excited to be here to talk about Junior Achievement because it's kind of a family thing we like to do. And I've been a long-term volunteer and even went all the way through the Junior Achievement system as a student up through now.
Very nice. Okay, so I do have to ask, corporate marketing to toffee.
Right.
How?
Right. It started as just a fun little side hustle. Every Christmas would make my grandma's recipe after she passed down her recipe. And then when people said they'd pay me for it, that entrepreneurial spark lit up, and I thought, I'll try and make some money. Sure. So, and it does.
And it's delicious toffee.
Is kind? Are there multiple options, flavors for it?
I think I have up to 15 flavors right now on my website. So, yep, always growing, always doing new things.
Megan, you seem to know something about this. What's your favorite part of the toffee? Your favorite kind?
Oh gosh, I do like just the regular, like was it milk? Just a
milk chocolate.
Yes, but she has this one with a little gold. She also has like a spicy, like with
ghost pepper.
Yeah, there it is. I don't know all the fancy names, but I do. But I know the flavors.
Right?
Yeah.
Professional toffee eater.
Exactly.
You have your roles. That's why it works so well.
I do.
That's awesome. Same question to you. Where are you from? How did you?
Yeah. So I grew up in Lincoln. I went to Southeast High School, graduated in 2000, and I teach 2nd grade at Eastridge Elementary, and I will be starting my 16th year, and I have had Junior Achievement in my classroom for as long as I can remember. Katie's husband and my husband used together, and so that's how we met, and then so I remember I kind of like learned about her toffee business and thought it was cool. And then it was like right around, I think, pre-COVID, she had mentioned that she does JA in the classroom. And I was like, I need a new JA instructor. Like, how cool would it be that I have a friend, And then we just thought it would, another fun connection that she and I can have together. And like I said, and I've loved having her in my room and sharing JA with my students. So
that's incredible. It's awesome. That's what I've loved about getting to know people that volunteer with JA, whether it's, as a volunteer, as a business, whether it's in their classroom like that, just how much it brings the community together.
For sure.
How many layers there are to it. I mean, I'm from Lincoln as well. I know it's a tight community, but to see Junior Achievement bring that community even tighter is just incredible. And Katie, you mentioned a family kind of tie to Junior Achievement.
Definitely.
What's that about?
My grandfather was the plant manager at Goodyear. 60s, 70s, and early 80s. And so he was originally from Akron, Ohio, where I believe there was a connection with Junior Achievement Worldwide. And so a buddy of his from Akron called and said, Dan, why does Lincoln not have Junior Achievement? And I remember him telling me his response was, if I knew what it was, we'd have it. And by the end of that phone call, he was making a list of all of his business connections in the city of Lincoln at the time. And in 1971, a bunch of business leaders created Junior Achievement of Lincoln. So my grandpa, Dan Remiggy, was very invested and involved in that. And so from there, our family got very involved. So like I said, I was an achiever. The program itself has evolved over the last 40 years, 50 years. And it started with high school students, and you would come once a week and join other high school students and create an actual business, create a product, elect officers, sell the product, liquidate your company. And then there was an end of year banquet. And that grew and grew to reach students of all ages. And then the focus, I think, in the late 90s, early 2000s, really focused on in the classroom and really reaching as many kids as possible in the classrooms. And my dad, in fact, both my parents have gotten really involved volunteering and helping. And my dad has worked to make a lot of schools in town all JA schools. So he would go and talk with the principals and administrators and say, why don't you have Junior Achievement? And I think a lot of those principals would say, if we knew what it was, we would have it. So a lot of education and effort on that part. But then getting into the schools. And when you have an all JA school, which I believe Eastridge is, I know my kids' elementary, Adams Elementary, is an all JA school. The administrators all the way down to every educator agree to provide that within their curriculum throughout the year. And then that's the point of Junior Achievement, to get the volunteers in the community to come into the classroom, because it's very much volunteer based. And it's great when community people can come in and teach a class for a week, because the kids get to see somebody new, and the teachers get a little bit of a break, not a ton of a break, because there's still a lot of that you interact with the teacher as well. But it's great to bring your own business experience, and it's kind of a really great thing. So the way it's evolved over the years has been really great to see.
JA grandpa the same as Toffee grandma? Same side,
Actually,
different side?
no. So
Really?
I'm full gamut. I just have some really good genes. Let me tell you, entrepreneurial on all sides.
That's awesome.
That's incredible. She just mentioned, being able to come into the classroom as an outsider. As a teacher, what's that like, having someone else come in for that, half an hour, 45 minutes, hour every week for you?
Yeah. I mean, first it can be a little nerve wracking because, we don't always get the opportunity to. And so it's very, very new for the students. And so then I always get kind of a little worried, like, I have to do extra prep for my students, making sure that they understand how to respect a community member, but I think it's such a powerful thing to have those lessons taught to them. And to see somebody new, and especially, like I said, coming from COVID time, like where there was so many times where they did not get to see other people, and actually Katie's first set of lessons was through Zoom. And so I literally put my computer right in front of everybody, and there was Katie on the little screen, and so then now being able to welcome her into my classroom, I mean, the kids just get so excited to have somebody new. And the activities, JA is very engaging, and so the activities that she brings in and that we get to do are just really fun, and the kids just love them. Like they ask, like, when's Katie coming back, or can we do that activity again? And like I said, it's just a really great way of just kind of teaching them some of those other life skills of having somebody new come in and doing something that's not like in our everyday reading curriculum or our math curriculum, but there's skills that they have learned in other places that they can kind of incorporate a little bit, which is really cool to see those connections too.
Knowing her, was it easier to be hands off? You're still trying to be hands on in that time. What's that like for you?
I definitely, I take full ownership and responsibility of my students and my kiddos, and it's my classroom. And I think of Katie and anybody, even when I had a different JA instructor a few years back, they're guests in my room. And while I feel like Katie and I kind of do a little bit of co-teaching, I definitely want my students to show her respect and to know that we are going to, show her kindness and that kind of a thing. But yet still, so I know I can't just, there was one time where I kind of tried, I was back at my desk, and I think I'm kind of grading papers or something, and I can still hear, and someone just keeps interrupting her, or won't quit popping up his hand. And I had to come over and, whisper to him. So I'm still, in there. And as I think most teachers handle it that way when they have their guests in their room too. So
on the flip side, what's it like going into her space, seeing where she goes every day, being a guest?
Right. And you walk in and everybody is excited. And the funny thing is I'm brand new. I don't know the different things. What was it? One day somebody was holding up the number 2 and with their fingers, and I'm like, peace. And they're like, no, I have to use the restroom. And I'm like, oh my gosh, Mrs. Schmidt. Okay, what's
number
the
1, number 2?
rule?
Because
Right?
so our school, and a lot of schools use hand signals just to kind of keep interruptions lower. They don't have to always raise their hand. I don't have to always stop my teaching. I can just give them a nod. Okay. And so so my students really know that they can just do it too, and I can nod yes, and they can just get up and go to the restroom without having to be a physical or loud interruption. And that was hilarious. And I don't think I was even fully aware of what was happening. But then you're like, Mrs. Schmidt, I think someone has to use the restroom. So that was a comical moment for sure.
Yeah, it's fun. And it's also just really neat because you teach second graders. I've actually taught kindergarten through 7th grade, maybe in Junior Achievement. It goes all the way up through high school, but it's so fun to come into the different grades and teach the different curriculum. But then I know in 2nd grade, we talk about needs and wants. We talk about paying taxes. One day we were talking about voting, and it was election day. It was last May when we were voting for the Lincoln mayor, and we got to dive briefly into an actual real life conversation. And then you have to skirt the line of, we're not going to talk about who we're voting for.
Right.
We're not going to like influence anybody, but we are talking about like actually today you might see people with I voted stickers, and that means they made an impact on their community. And you might want to go home to your grown-ups and talk about how you voted in junior achievement and maybe ask about their opportunities to vote. So what I love about junior achievement is getting into the classroom, meeting the kids, but then also kind of sending those nuggets home. Like go home and talk to your grown-ups and your family members and the people in your neighborhood tonight about, we made pizzas on our computer and I made 15 pizzas because I slowed down and did the process correctly. Or we helped the mayor of our junior achievement community make decisions on what to make in our junior achievement park, you know, and so these kids get to be big kids for it a little while.
And all those topics are very relatable to them. Even if it's not something that they have to deal with like directly right now, you know, like the taxes thing, like they don't themselves don't pay taxes right now, but they
freeloaders.
Right.
Right.
Right. But they might hear, you know, the adult at their house talk about it. And so even just starting those conversations is a great way, just teaching those younger kiddos these things.
You've taught second grade. How'd you settle on that?
How did I settle on it? You know, I student taught in second grade, and I just love staying there. I feel like it's a great kind of middle of the road grade and age where you know, kindergarten 1, they're still really young, but they're starting to second grade, they're starting to become more independent. And LPS, our curriculums are ever changing, and we're expecting more and more out of them. And so they're developmentally, I mean, they're still young, but they still have, they're wanting that independence, and they're learning so much too. So I don't know. It's just a great little, it's just a fun age. It's just, they like being there. You know, they like the cool things that we do, but yet I can have them go sit and read a chapter book for 10 minutes by themselves, you know, too. Like it's just a great little mix of things.
Old enough, but young enough.
Yeah. That's
Fair
a good
to
way
say.
to put it. Yeah.
And then you said you've taught K through 7. Do you have a favorite?
I don't know if I do.
Obviously second grade.
I was gonna say,
second
come on
place.
here.
Sorry, bad
It's
phrasing. That's on
crap
me.
class. Also, whatever grade my own kids are in, if I'm ever able to get their class. Kindergarten is so fun because they are just like, you are a superstar in their class.
I'm sure you're like a celebrity.
Yes,
That's,
and they
yeah.
like the hugs and the like the unsolicited questions of, did you know my neighbor has a snail? You know, and then you have to talk, and the teacher's like, bring it back in. You know, first grade, again, same story. They're a little bit bigger, but they're second grade. I agree with you. They're starting to find themselves.
Yeah.
They're bigger kids. Third grade, they get it. They're the cool kids, right? Fourth grade and fifth grade, let me tell you, that curriculum gets a little bit harder. You get to have real world conversations. If you're the volunteer in the classroom, you get to kind of talk about trade around the world and supply chain disruptions, you know. And
I totally knew that wasn't fourth grade.
Exactly.
I'm glad that's not a second grade lesson.
I know.
I wouldn't be able to help with that.
And so that's just so fun. And then the other thing that's neat when I teach them all kind of in the class throughout the school year, they all have that basic understanding of needs and wants. They all have the basic understanding of goods and services. So no matter if you're kindergarten or fifth grade, you're still covering that same basic thing, but then talking at their level. So that's really cool.
That's awesome. This is the Junior Achievement Hour here on 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. We're going to take our first break. We'll be back with Megan and Katie as part of Ticket Weeknights next.
You're listening to the Junior Achievement Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
You don't think about your roof very often, but you should never take it for granted. Roofing Service Company takes every measure to provide you with the highest quality roofing solution. Whether it's a new roof installation, roof repair, or a re-roofing project, their overall goal is to provide you with a pleasant experience and a long-lasting roof. If you have a need for siding or gutters, they're your place too. Visit roofingservicecompany.com for more info today. A lot of businesses say that they're family focused. When tough situations in life arise, the business feels anything but for your best interests. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring, and they will always treat their employees like family, as they do with customers. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring Class A and B CDL drivers, a shop tech, and diesel mechanic. If you're looking for a career with a company that goes above and beyond to value you and your family, apply today at jamesenterpriseinc.com or call 402-432-6740.
The Southern Pecan Cake from Beatrice Bakery. They don't just let you call anything Southern, especially when it's baked right here in Nebraska. There are standards you have to meet, like a rich, decadent, moist caramel cake? Check. Bursting with too many large pecans to count? Check. Big enough to share with the whole group? Check. But delicious enough that you won't want to share? A big check on that one. The Southern Pecan Cake, the newest cake to the Beatrice Bakery lineup. Try it for yourself at Beatrice Bakery. Online at beatricebakery.com. Welcome to our world of yum.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is now open in Lincoln. Shop our expansive collection of wine, beer, spirits, and cigars at 5040 North 27th Street. From top shelf liquor to crowd favorite beer, Wall-to-Wall has a beverage for every taste and every budget. Plus, join our loyalty program to earn rewards and save on future purchases. Shop Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits at 5040 North 27th Street in Lincoln. That's 5040 North 27th Street.
Getting experience to jumpstart a meaningful career can be difficult, and education's a fortune. Luckily, AmeriCorps can be the solution. With AmeriCorps, you'll earn an education award while helping people. Plus, you'll gain professional skills and make connections to help you build your career. If you're ready to start a career, visit serve.nebraska.gov/service to find a program for you. Paid for by Serve Nebraska, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Arnold's Tavern in Havelock is the place to be this summer, and the best place in town for shuffleboard. Come on Wednesdays and learn from some of the best players in town for the Shuffleboard Corner. Come on Sundays for Open House League all day starting at 11 a.m. and enjoy $3 tall boys and $3 wells. Shake off the start to the work week with karaoke on Monday nights. And don't forget, happy hour is every day from 3 to 6 p.m., and you are always welcome to bring in your own food. Arnold's Tavern in the heart of Havelock.
Too many people believe that chronic pain, allergies, or illness are permanent and something you're stuck with. Novotny Nutrition and Wellness has been proving that narrative wrong for 29 years and changing lives for the better in the process. Their team is trained in the newest, most advanced pain-relieving techniques and ways to deal with toxins, allergies, pollution, and emotion that make you ill. Call today for a free consultation at 531-254-5695 or go to NovotnyNutritionandWellness.com. Novotny Nutrition and Wellness, located at 7th and...
The days of internet contracts and heavy fine print are over. It's time for free service with no contracts or hidden fees. That's the Allo promise. Allo Communications provides fiber internet, TV, and phone services with fair and no-nonsense pricing, all backed by a 30-day money-back 24/7 local support 365 days a year, and a monthly bill you can count on. Don't settle for gimmicks. Settle for hassle-free with Allo. Visit us at allofiber.com/hassle-free.
Hey, you got any gum?
Yeah, check my backpack.
What's this?
Oh, that's naloxone. It can reverse an opioid overdose. I decided to always keep it on me after my friend almost died. It saved his life.
I'm so sorry. That makes me want to have it with me too.
You totally should. Check the pharmacy. It was actually really easy to get, and it's easy to use.
I definitely will.
Thanks. Paid for by the CDC. Sponsored by Nebraska DHHS. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Look at your car. It's filthy and probably has a few dings and nicks all over it. Don't be that guy. Get it upgraded and repaired at Renew Your Auto. At Renew Your Auto, they offer tons of services: ceramic coating, window tinting, paintless dent repair, washes and details, bed liners, body shop, and more. Where can you go to get services like that all in one place? Schedule your appointment today at renewyourauto.com. See what Renew can do for you.
Now, back to the Junior Achievement Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back here on 93.7 The Ticket, ticketfm.com, and all over the place: Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and Allo951. Plenty of ways to watch, listen, and get in contact with the show, any of them here at The Ticket. And Megan, standing invitation, you were telling us during the break you thought you were going to be a DJ. So if you want to run the board, you want to press the buttons, we can switch sides.
I mean, One day I might love to. I mean, you'd have to teach me a few things first.
It's simple.
Is
Press,
it?
Press, click.
Oh,
That's all you got to do.
Okay,
See?
I mean,
You've clicked the mouse before, I assume.
yes,
right?
I have. I can do that.
That's
I
awesome.
think you just got hired.
I think I did. Yay!
Congrats.
What would I call my show? Those are the kinds of things I think of right away.
Okay, you've thought of it before. You had to have some ideas.
Nope.
We'll let you out hook this time.
Okay.
Next time, though.
Okay.
So you mentioned having JA in your classroom basically since you started. Was
Yeah.
that intentional? Did that just happen? How did JA, get in your classroom when you started?
Gosh, good question. I think it probably went back to my teammate that I had a while back, Erin Chambers. I'm sure she'll love that I just threw out her name. Her husband was, and still is, a junior achievement volunteer. And I think when I joined her team, she had always had junior achievement in her classroom. And so I think it was just kind of one of those things where we just have junior achievement. And she's like, I already have a volunteer, so how about my husband be your volunteer? I'm like, okay, great. And I think it just was one of those things that you just once you start it, you just kind of keep doing it as long as it works. And then just, and we've been told as staff members that it's kind of started to become more of our choice, because scheduling is kind of getting tricky. A lot of schools are starting to have more intervention times and things, and our curriculums are demanding more out of us. And so I'm hoping to be able to continue to keep JA in our rooms, but it's just definitely something where, if it fits in, then do it. And I plan on continuing it as long as I can. So.
That's awesome. With the curriculum, how have you seen it change in the 16 years?
I would say probably just this last year, or was it 2 years ago? The lessons really stayed the same for a long time. I love that I could like when Jason would come in and I have my music ready with my JA CD. We used to have a CD and I'd pop it in the CD player, which now we don't have that. But and then he would say, well, now you can just log on to the website and just hit play on the website. Or there's a YouTube song, but the song didn't change, the lessons didn't change or anything, but just the technology updated. And then this year was the first year where really everything was online. So Katie would log into on my computer onto the website, and then her lessons would be more available that way. And then it was kind of like you were clicking through slides. And then the kiddos and I could project it. So then the kiddos would see what she was teaching. But then there was also an activity where then she could put out a link that they could then join, and then they could do part of a activity on their Chromebooks with her. So technology really has kind of helped advance things.
It definitely has. Junior Achievement used to provide all the lesson plans to the volunteers. So
I've heard about the briefcases, and we did look them
Yes.
up on eBay last week. They are still for sale. So if you want one, they're out there.
Those really snazzy clear ones with the white lettering. Yeah.
They're coveted. So, bid that up. So Junior Achievement has always provided the lesson plans. I know if future volunteers are out there listening, I definitely encourage them to take the leap and do it, because it's not a huge commitment. I come into your class 5 times and it's less than an hour. It takes me probably less than an hour to prepare and get ready for that. I have all the materials I need. They used to give me a big, huge packet full of all the printed materials. So 5 lessons, 5 packets, enough for each class. And you would just prepare. And it was a lot of handouts, and the kids would do stickers, and they would color, or they would finish a drawing or things like that, which was great. And then 2020 came along with COVID. Everybody was home, and JA Worldwide did a really good job of pivoting and figuring out how to still reach students while they're at home, and almost thinking this is a more important time to be reaching students because they need more of that interaction and less of just the standard curriculum. And when we got back into the classroom, we started getting some new curriculum. And I believe Lincoln was one of the pilot junior achievement locations to try some of this new stuff. And I was actually lucky enough to try the 2nd grade curriculum, going all online with the projected board and the Chromebooks. And so it was a bit of a change, because we didn't have the crayons, we didn't have the stickers, but the kids live in such a technological world today that that actually they're so native to it that they just know to touch and click and do. So that was very fun. And it was kind of a learning curve, but really cool to see how they do that. So.
Yeah. And the kids loved it. Like they always do, but especially with being able to be on the computer.
That's where I was going to go next. I mean, it is a digital world that has been a huge change. It's helpful. It can be harmful. Is it good that JA went digital, or was it nice for the kids to have, something tangible to hold, to kind of fidget with, to mess with?
Do you want to go first?
Oh,
just from the junior achievement volunteer perspective?
Well, I think it's a little bit of both. So, thinking of, I know you're talking about the CD, and I believe it was how the quarter moves through a community. And so you literally had the kids pass a big replica of a quarter around the room, and this silly CD with this silly wrap. But the kids got excited and they wanted to do it 2-3 times. So that got them up and moving, which was always nice. Now I do notice they do sit a little more. So as a volunteer, and I work with the educator when I have a really cool one that's helpful. And I try and say, how do we get them engaged? How do we get them up and about? How do we make teams? Do we have them do a quick little stretch or something? So that's kind of fun because, you got to balance the technology, especially because I was coming into your class in May, in April and May, at the end of the school year, at the end of the day, after recess. So
how'd you draw that straw?
Sorry, good thing she likes me, right?
It was fun. And I bring a lot of energy into the room anyway. So it was like, let's go. So I have taught a 3rd grade class right at the beginning of the school day, and that was a totally different vibe. Like I bet. Is this thing on? Like every day. So it's fine and it's fun, but to have the interaction with the kids and make sure that they're not just sitting listening to a PowerPoint. It's a lot of interaction. And, we talk about in 2nd grade, let's look at this picture of the park. What's wrong with it? And they get to use their creativity to say, those dogs are running loose. We need a dog park. Or that flower stand, it doesn't have anybody working there and there's trash everywhere. So we need to clean that up. And then they work together, they share their ideas. And so that's super fun. So you try and find ways to utilize the new technology and still keep it engaging in the classroom.
Well, I think next time that you come in, I think it'll be even better because I will then, we will both know it better, know the digital side better. Because I think I was still expecting so much of the old stuff, and she would say, oh, no, we don't do it like that. That's the lessons change. I'm like, really? Okay. But I remember it this way, I'm like, I'm really good at the old way. But, and so I can, kind of predict how we can move more. But I think JA does a good job of, there's lots of visuals, there's a poster that she can hang. Well, it's probably digital now, isn't it? Yep. Okay. So I'm remembering
there
back.
used to be a poster.
There used to be a poster, but anyway, so now it's digital, but at least the kids can now go up to the board and still point to it, still look for things. Like there's still cards that they get to hold and they get to look at and they get to read. So there's still good tools and things that I think JA provides that they can still do. So
I do want to know a little bit more about 2nd graders. Like, what is that attention span like? How long can they sit before they need that engagement?
Yeah. I mean, it definitely does depend on the time of the day and what activity they just were doing, that kind of a thing. I mean, they're pretty good about, if it's something that they're interested in, they're going to sit there and be very, very engaged, 30-40 minutes, but letting them even just stand up and stretch is definitely, I do that throughout my entire day, almost, like even between different subjects and things. So movement is important, even if they can just, like I said, stand up and stretch a little bit. But if they're really into it, then they're going to be attentive, and they typically are, because they really, they get really into what they're talking about. And I was going to say, you are full of energy, but she doesn't even use my microphone. Like, yeah, because not that she's like, it's just, you just project your voice well. Like you're very animated and the kids just really are drawn to you. So I can tell you like what you do.
Yeah. You thought you were going to be a radio DJ. I thought I was going to be a doctor. I told you that. Yeah. And then JA in high school taught me that's not where I needed to go. Thank goodness. But then in college, there was a blip where I thought I wanted to be an elementary education major. So I think that JA allows me to tap into that for just a bit at a time.
Just a bit.
Because I also love like kind of like I'm the fun aunt.
Right.
Like, I walk in and I'm excited. I get the hugs and the high fives. And then I'm like, oh, well, I gotta go. Bye.
Sorry.
And then she's got to wrap them up for the end of the day. It's like, oh, see you next week. Bye.
Right. Both my parents are teachers. I've probably, let me think, one cousin and aunt's a teacher. So that's where I thought I was going to end up.
Yeah.
It didn't end up doing that. But it sounds like Junior Achievement makes volunteering easy. Like they make it simple to come in. So from the volunteer side, what's been the part the JA's made the easiest for you?
Oh, they do it all. Like I just have to commit to a classroom and schedule my time. They give me all the materials. I do commit,
So lesson planning is easy.
Lesson planning's done. It's just a matter of reviewing it and going through the materials, making sure you're familiar with it, and then being ready to walk into the class and taking that time out of your day. Some classes, like Mrs. Schmidt's class, we come every Tuesday for 5 weeks because it's 5 lessons. Other classes say, we can fit you in every day this week. So they can be flexible and whatever. I know my dad, bless his heart, has even done 1 day marathon, all 5 lessons.
Oh gosh.
Like they just made a JA day. And I think the kids thought that was like super cool. Right.
Probably.
So, I mean, I'm not saying that's the most ideal, but it is a flexible program and it's short. I'm in your class, maybe 40 minutes. And then I'm energized and excited and I leave for the day and I say, see you next time. And when I come back, the kids are so excited, and they remember. And I always start with, what did we talk about last time? Mostly for me. Like, what did we talk about yesterday? And they always know and they always remember, no matter the age, kindergarten all the way up. They're like, oh, we talked about needs and wants and that your neighbor has a snail and that we did this. So
That's awesome. Then as a teacher, what do you appreciate about JA? How have they made it easy for you?
I would say the flexibility and the communication, like with the emails, like whoever's in charge of getting it started, they check in with us. And I mean, like Katie's made it really easy too. I mean, she's so great about, and I don't know if I just gotten special treatment, from her, but it is very nice to know that like, I can, text or email and be like, oh my gosh, shoot, we actually had an assembly planned today at this time. Can you come tomorrow? Or is there just a different day that you can come? And she will say yes, or, and we just make it work. And yeah, it has been really nice to know that it can be just like what she said, where it's, if I wanted it every day, because there are other teachers in my building who do it every day for a whole week and they just get it done in that week. But my grade, we like to do it where it's kind of spans through a whole month. And and it can be any time of the school year. It doesn't have to be in May. Like I could choose to do at the beginning of the year or the middle of the year. So scheduling wise, that's really nice. And I'm a social studies liaison also for second grade at my school. And I have seen a lot of connections with social studies and life skills, community building. The lessons that I teach my kids in social studies really do correlate with JA. So I'm always very appreciative of the lessons, like the topics, the objectives that JA has planned for us. And like, it just fits really well with second grade and what we talk about. So I don't know who they talked to and how they figured that part out, but that's all I've never sat down and listened to a JA lesson and thought that had nothing to do with what we're talking about. I've never felt that. So,
right. Well, and I think it all comes back to what we were saying, like every level talks about those basics.
Yeah.
Needs and wants, supply and demand, or goods and services. And those are things we were just talking before the show about, like my kid is doing a summer job and he's learning about saving and spending and, we have a birthday coming up and what do you do with that birthday money? Do you buy what you need or what you want? And so at every age, for myself, when I go shopping, do I really need that or do I want that? So it's really just, I think, teaching those skills that maybe everyone needs to learn, but maybe you don't catch that in the regular curriculum in that way that JA provides it. So it's kind of neat to have a volunteer come in and teach it.
You mentioned JA starting mostly with high schools and after school. For you as a volunteer and then you as a teacher, how important is it that JA has gone down through middle and elementary school?
For me, I think it's great because it hits every grade level. And I always start every session like, who's ever had junior achievement before? And it's amazing when the hands pop up and then you get to say, well, what did you learn? And they remember and it sticks. It's just those core memories that are kind of built. So not high schoolers are busy. And I think that's probably why they fell away from it. I mean, at the beginning of it in the 70s and 80s and then into the 90s, it was great because you got to add another evening activity and meet kids from other schools, which was so great. but anymore, high schoolers are so busy. And so that's almost, I think Junior Achievement noticed it's not too late, but it's almost too late. You might as well start early. And if you can, and now the programs Junior Achievement offers for high schoolers is so robust with the Entrepreneur Focus program here in Lincoln and other things like that. So it's almost like by stepping backwards, they were able to expand forward so much better. So
you mentioned the lessons tying into what you're teaching in social studies, but it's not the exact same thing, right? It just ties in. It's just a little different approach. Is that fair to say?
Yeah. Like we have one lesson about goods and services in social studies. And and that's talked about in Junior Achievement. So there are some that are like very, like piggyback a lot. And then there's others where they might have maybe just heard a certain term or something like that. But I think in general, they just do that really good job of just teaching those basic things that they do know. And I think having, learning it at an earlier age, I think kids as parents and family homes are more like they're doing all different kinds of jobs. Like so-and-so's dad owns the tire shop on the corner, like that's a business, and they can talk about that. And I feel like they're like, where else would they normally have the opportunity to talk about their dad owning a tire shop, but in Junior Achievement, they can talk about that because that's relating themselves to a business. So I think just some of those things are kind of where that falls along too.
How neat is it for the kids to see someone come in with a business, right? I mean, because all they know is school, right? For the first 18 years of their life, it's school, 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 school. How important is it to show them that there's more out there?
I think it's super important. And I hope that they really realize how cool that is. And I think, Katie, what she does as a small business owner, and especially selling something that I think the kids can relate to, is really cool for them too. And I feel like they are just more excited by that. Katie always does a really great job of doing her first lesson where she gives me a bag of toffee, but it's a great way of kind of showing that that's what she sells, that's what her business is. And, and I've had other volunteers who have worked at banks or, I'm trying to think, Jason worked at Lincoln Industries one time, so there's so many businesses out there. And I think so many kids, they might hear those things, but then to now, see that, it's just very exciting for them. And it's just one of those more like, oh, kind of like when you see your teacher out the grocery store, it's like, oh, there's something that the classroom is something that's out in the open, or out in the real world.
And Katie, for you bringing your business into the classroom, what does that mean to you?
Well, it's just a really neat tie-in to show the students that I created something and I work hard at it. I'm able to show you what I make and people actually buy it. They may have heard of it or tried it. And so it's saying like, you just met me, I'm a real person and I did this. And then I always kind of start and say, how many of you have ever had a lemonade stand or picked up leaves in the fall or mowed a lawn or scooped snow? And they raise their hands and I say, you're an entrepreneur. This could be you one day, and occasionally you'll find a student that is doing something for money, that they've created a small business. And so I always try and push that. Another thing I love in the curriculum, Junior Achievement tries to encourage and when you graduate this class and then you graduate high school and you go on to your extra learning. And so I always try and build that in at least once, if not a couple times through we're second graders and I always come at the end of the year. So it's like, you're almost third graders. And so when you graduate second grade and then you graduate fifth grade, and I know you're going to graduate high school. And I always try and seed that and then say, you might go on to college or medical school, or you might go straight into learning and apprenticing and what you want to do, go do it and think about JA. And it's just kind of like always trying to seed that with the kids too, that they are already living those great lives and it's right ahead of them.
And that's so great that you do that because one of the goals that Lincoln Public Schools does is talk about graduation rate and encouraging kids to keep working hard so that they can graduate. And so I just think that is a huge and really important, great thing that JA does and that you do, Katie.
Yeah.
So.
And then they get a certificate at the end of the session.
Yep.
So we fill out their name and shake their hand and they get something to take home. And so it's kind of that representation of that just from finishing JA.
Yep.
That's awesome. Another step in the journey.
Yep.
We like that. This is the Junior Achievement Hour here on 93.7 The Ticket. One more break to take. We'll be back and wrap things up after this.
You're listening to the Junior Achievement Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Put lawn irrigation on automatic. Think Judson Irrigation for worry-free service to Lincoln homeowners and business community. Judson Irrigation will turn on your sprinkler system in the spring, repair or redesign as needed, and turn it off in the fall. For service to orphan sprinklers, remember Judson Irrigation. They'll never forget you.
Call the Judson Irrigation Orphanage 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
The Butchery by Venue is Lincoln's premier specialty grocers. Take the quality of Venue home with you with our hand-cut steaks, handcrafted burgers, and locally sourced offerings. Browse our wide selection of specialty products designed to enhance your dining experiences with cheeses, spices, sauces, and more. We also have an exclusive collection of liquors, whiskeys, and bourbons at prices you're sure to love. Stop in to the Butchery by Venue today, located in our Venue at Home storefront at 70th and Pioneers, just 2 doors down from Venue Restaurant and Lounge.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Coppell Chevrolet GMC, and our Independence Day sale is underway with some great savings. Get 0.9% interest rates and a trade-in bonus on select new models. You heard right, 0.9% interest rates going on at Coppell. In addition, we didn't want to leave out our pre-owned inventory, so right now on all pre-owned cars, get $1,000 for bringing us your trade, and that's right, get $1,000 off any pre-owned car you trade in. So stop on in the store or at CoppellCars.com. You'll be glad you did. All deals with approved credit.
The Southern Pecan Cake from Beatrice Bakery. They don't just let you call anything Southern, especially when it's baked right here in Nebraska. There are standards you have to meet, like a rich, decadent, moist caramel cake? Check. Bursting with too many large pecans to count? Check. Big enough to share with the whole group? Check. But delicious enough that you won't want to share? A big check on that one. The Southern Pecan Cake, the newest cake to the Beatrice Bakery lineup. Try it for yourself at Beatrice Bakery. Online at BeatriceBakery.com. Welcome to our world of yum.
A lot of businesses say that they're family focused, but when tough situations in life arise, the business feels anything but for your best interests. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring, and they will always treat their employees like family, as they do with customers. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring Class A and B CDL drivers, a shop tech, and diesel mechanic. If you're looking for a career with a company that goes above and beyond to value you and your family, apply today at jamesenterpriseinc.com or call 402-432-6740.
Hey guys, Jake Sorensen here from Early Break, and on behalf of the entire 93.7 The Ticket team, we are excited to announce this fall we are teaming up with Husker Extra for the Big Red Brunch. We'll have big names from now and the past from Husker sports, and that all starts on Wednesday, August 9th for the Big Red Brunch Golf Scramble at Tiburon Golf Club in Gretna. Sign up to play today at omaha.com and find the Big Red Brunch tab. You won't want to miss this on August 9th at Tiburon in Gretna.
Look at your car. It's filthy and probably has a few dings and nicks all over it. Don't be that guy. Get it upgraded and repaired at Renew Your Auto. At Renew Your Auto, they offer tons of services: ceramic coating, window tinting, paintless dent repair, washes and details, bed liners, body shop, and more. Where can you go to get services like that all in one place? Schedule your appointment today at renewyourauto.com. See what Renew can do for you. Rosie Sports Bar and Grill. Open for lunch at 10th and P or at 1501 Center Park Road.
Sandhills Global is hiring. Check out sandhills.jobs for more information. Sandhills is looking to fill hundreds of new openings in sales, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Sandhills has a professional culture and is fast-paced with a focus on growth, innovation, and leading-edge technologies. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Apply today at sandhills.jobs.
Attention all Wings fans. 89-cent wings are back on Tuesdays at Buffalo Wings and Rings in Lincoln. Enjoy the best wings in town for boneless or traditional at a price that makes the whole family happy. And now at the Williamsburg Village Rings, you can enjoy $1.50 tall boys in Bud Light, Coors Light, Busch Light, and Michelob Ultra every day after 7 p.m. and all day on Sundays. Get to Wings and Rings today and make sure to stop by on Tuesdays for 89-cent wings.
Now, back to the Junior Achievement Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
That's right. Back one final time here on the 7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. We were just talking about the importance of good coworkers. Megan, that's probably easier for you at a school. What are your coworkers' experiences like with JA? Similar to yours?
I would say yes and no. I know that in the past, maybe some have a harder time finding a great volunteer. Like I do feel like I'm very lucky. And I think some people, it's great that they volunteer, but I think that they're not always expecting or know what to expect when they walk into a elementary classroom. And you can definitely tell the ones that maybe like it's very new to them, or they might feel a little bit more uncomfortable, and that's expected, or it's understandable, but I think if a volunteer can just really kind of take on that confidence and kind of have a little bit of experience, or at least try to learn a little bit about what it's like to be in an elementary classroom, I think that helps. Because even as a teacher, we don't want it to be more work for them or the volunteer or and it can throw up a whole balance in the classroom if things are not, if things are kind of bumpy a little bit. So I know that we've run into that a few times, but I think in general, like the Junior Achievement, the organization themselves, they always try very hard, and I think they work very hard on trying to supply us great volunteers. So I don't think it's anything that we are ever like we're mad about or anything. I just think sometimes, a volunteer can just
not know what they're in for,
yes,
not be the right fit necessarily.
Right.
Yeah. Katie, do you network with other JA volunteers at all?
Sure. Yes. And I recruit them.
Aha,
And I know Mrs. Schmidt's class, your partner in second grade
Mhm.
needed a volunteer.
Yep.
And I got on the phone and I asked my networks, and actually my good friend Becky Parrott from Runza popped right in, and she's a longtime Junior Achievement volunteer. And she was like, I'll do it. So the fun part for me was I got to see Becky every Tuesday
Yep.
for 5 weeks, and we got to share our ideas. And since it was newer curriculum, we could say, hey, how are you going to do that? Because we've both done the older curriculum. And so it was really great that way. And I'm always kind of pumping up JA and always posting on my Facebook and saying, hey, I'm volunteering again. And if you ever have interest or questions, let me know, because it's really not a difficult volunteer role. It's not a huge commitment. Like sometimes when you volunteer, there's space for all different things out in the community, but this one is just 5 hours of your life. It's not a year-long commitment or multiple years. You get to touch a lot of lives. You get to be in a classroom with kids. And so I highly encourage it. If anybody's interested, definitely check it out. They give you all your tools.
Maybe not the biggest commitment, but it makes a big difference.
Yes. Yeah, for sure.
That's awesome. If you're interested in volunteering, lincoln.ja.org is the place to go. Got the website pulled up right here, and you can't miss it. It says, how can you get started? Right there at the very top. You scroll down just a little bit. Volunteers, begin here. Big button. Click it. Schools and parents. If you're a teacher, you want JA in your classroom, there's a button for you right there. And then if you want to, be a business and partner with them, there's a button for you too. They make it simple to get involved. They make it simple. Sounds like throughout the whole process. And that's incredible, because that's what it needs to be, right? Accessible for kids, something they can get their hands on, wrap their minds around. And it's for, not just the kids good, but the good of the community, right? I mean, you guys see that these kids are the future. Like, we want them in Lincoln, and to have a program like this, if you're an adult in Lincoln, you have some time, you were in their shoes once too, right? Just give them that little kickstart.
For sure.
You'll love it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Katie, Megan, thank you so much for your time tonight. Thanks for coming in. Keep up the great work with JA.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. This has been the Junior Achievement Hour here on 93.7 The Ticket. We got more Ticket Weeknights coming up next.
Smoked meats, amazing sides. The only problem when it fixes that at some point, that plate will be empty. But hear me out. What if that plate was never empty? That dream can be your reality with the Mary Ellen's Express Lunch Buffet. From 11 to 2 every Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and even Saturday. One price, all you can eat, and it even comes with a drink. Tell your boss you're taking a long lunch and get down there. Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul at 29th and Pine Lake. Let them fix you a plate.
Hi, it's Charlie Stone again, and with me on the line, Andy Goodyear, General Manager of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, I know how proud you and everyone at the dealership are to earn the prestigious Honda President's Award year after year, 17 times. Tell our listeners what it means to you and your customers.
Thanks, Charlie. Yeah, all of us are extremely proud to have earned this award, and I want all of our customers to know it's not just earned by one person's effort. It's the entire dealership, sales, parts, and our amazing service department.
17 times. Wow. How does that compare to other Honda dealers?
This award is only given to the most elite dealerships that demonstrate excellence. We really do strive to go above and beyond for the ultimate customer experience before and after the sale, Charlie.
That's why for 2022, Honda of Lincoln is once again Nebraska's #1 volume Honda dealer. Come experience the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business, 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
You don't think about your roof very often.